The FIFA World Cup continues to capture the attention of football fans around the world. And Korea now faces a pivotal moment in the tournament. To break down Korea's chances of reaching the round of 32 and bring us the latest from the sports world, we're joined once again by our sportscaster, Jason Lee. Welcome back, Jason.
Hi, Jason.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. So, you'll have the latest on Team Korea at the World Cup in North America, but what else are you gonna enlighten us about today?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, is there anything more important than Korea at the World Cup these days? Also coming up, I'll have details on their second game against Mexico, as well as a preview of their final group stage match, that, of course, against South Africa. I'm also going to let you know Korea's most likely second-round opponent. Of course, that's should they advance. Plus, I'll have updates on both the PGA as well as LPGA tours.
Okay, so, well, you said it. There seems to be nothing more important than Korea at the World Cup right now. But let's start with the game against Mexico. What happened?
Yeah, certainly very disappointing result. I'm sure by now you've probably already heard that Korea has lost 1-0 on a very unlucky goal, certainly. 4 minutes into the second half, keeper Kim Sung-gyu came out to play like a sky ball just near the penalty dot. But as he went to grab the ball, he stumbled over his own defender, Lee Gi-hyuk. Kim Sung-gyu then dropped the ball. Luis Romo was right there, and it turned out to be an easy goal because of the gaff. So there's not really, like a lot of things to unpack. There are a lot of things to unpack about this game. First off, there were a lot of momentum shifts throughout the game. I think Mexico clearly owned much of the early flow, but Korea really owned the latter part of the first half, and they just really couldn't score a goal when they had the opportunities. Son Heung-min almost scored on a chip shot into the empty net, but a Mexican defender made a great bicycle kick to keep the ball out of the net. Meanwhile, after the Mexican goal, they were definitely content to just sit back and defend. And hey, they did a good job of that for the most part as Korea dominated possession, but again, they just couldn't score the goal to tie things up. I would say that Korea definitely did not deserve to lose this game. I thought a draw would have been a fair result, but hey, mistakes are part of this game. That was clearly a very big mistake that happened in the Korean penalty box, so it is what it is. The last thing I will mention, though, is that both Lee Gang-in and Baek Sung-ho received yellow cards in this game, so both of them, along with Lee Gi-hyuk, will have to be very careful in the upcoming game against South Africa, because if they were to receive another card, then they would have to sit out an ensuing game, which, of course, is in the knockout phase, and competition should be much more difficult in those games.
Right. Mistakes are part of these games.
Unfortunately,
mistakes
it is.
are part of life.
Yeah.
But let's just hope that those mistakes don't repeat themselves.
Yes, for sure. So let's now talk about the preview of the upcoming game, the next game against South Africa. But before that, we want to talk about what everyone's probably curious about. So what are the chances of Korea advancing to the next round? So please run us down on different scenarios that's possible.
Yeah, they have a win against Czechia, a loss against Mexico. But, all things considered, their chances of advancing actually look really good. That's thanks to that 2-1 win against Czechia. But also, there was a 1-1 draw between Czechia and South Africa. So currently, Mexico automatically advances as the top team in Group A, while Korea is still in a very good position, 2 points ahead of both Czechia and South Africa. So what does that mean? The only way for Korea to be eliminated outright by finishing fourth in the group, that would mean that they would have to lose to South Africa and Czechia would have to beat Mexico. Let me tell you, that is highly unlikely. And even so, at least Korea owns their own destiny, and they're playing the worst team of their group in that match. So, like I said, again, very unlikely. Even a draw for Korea against South Africa would leave them second place in the group. So that's even if Czechia were to beat Mexico. So even if Korea were to lose to South Africa, if Czechia only managed to tie against Mexico, Korea would still be third in the group with 3 points and still have a very good chance of advancing as a top 8 third place team. So again, it's looking very good. Obviously, the most ideal outcome is for Korea to just go out and beat South Africa in the final game. Then you don't have to worry about anything else. They have destiny in their own hands. They just got to do their role in it.
Right. Very assuring to hear this.
Yes.
Yes.
High chance for Korea to advance to the next round.
A lot of experts were predicting they were giving them a 90% chance of advancing. So, yeah.
Okay, so we're going to have to look out for that next game, which we'll be talking about right now. It's at 10 a.m. on Thursday morning here in Korean time. So what can we expect from that game?
So, yeah, against South Africa, as I mentioned, the only way that South Africa can advance is with a win. They have to beat Korea. So they're going to want to be very aggressive, especially in the early stages of this game. Korea only needs a draw, so they can afford to be more passive in this contest. So what does that mean strategically? Well, we haven't seen Jens Kastrup yet. He's more of a defensive midfielder, and of course, Korea has mostly been trailing in their games so far, so it's one of the reasons we haven't seen him. I'd like to see him maybe early on in this game or as a starter, just to hold the fort defensively, because that's the most important thing that Korea has to achieve. I have said before that, I would have started Jo Hyun-woo in goal over Kim Seung-kyu, and now I am absolutely sure that that is the better choice, especially for this game. Not only because of, the goal against Mexico, but I think, again, that Jo Hyun-woo is better at preventing goals, and that should be their number one priority for this particular game. Also, for Kim Seung-kyu to allow the goal that he did, the way that it happened, it's not entirely his fault. I would call it a goalie error, but the kind of play that does, it can put a little bit of doubt in the keeper's psyche, maybe lower your confidence a little bit. So I think when you're considering two keepers that are about the same in ability anyways, go with the fresh start. And I think it just brings a new opportunity to the new keeper. I think Jo Hyun is a better shot stopper anyways, so that's what I would do. One last message that I would give if I'm Hong Myung-bo, this would be specifically directed at Lee Gi-hyuk as well as Baek Seung-ho, but most importantly at Lee Kang-in. You absolutely cannot afford to take a yellow card. Because if they are going to advance to the next round and not have a player like Lee Kang-in available, it would make things very, very difficult for Korea to advance to the round of 16. So clearly, go out, at least tie the game. If you win, even better. But most importantly, we cannot afford another yellow card for a player like Lee Kang-in.
And now, Jason, the million-dollar question. So what is your score prediction for this upcoming match?
No disrespect to South Africa, but, they are a lower skilled team, especially in this group. I think Korea needs to really come back and show something after that loss to Mexico to bring confidence to the team. I thought, again, Korea didn't deserve to lose that game. So I think they can really go out and show their confidence. I am predicting a 3-1 win for Korea against South Africa. I think they are that skilled to be able to defeat them. I could see South Africa really trying to push aggressively and Korea being able to take advantage on the counterattack as well as some of the possession plays as well.
And Bella, what is your prediction?
I'm going to go with 2-0.
Oh, actually, that was what I was thinking.
Oh, really?
But then I'll go with 2-1. And we'll see what we talk about next week.
Yes, but all in the end, it's a win for Korea, right?
Of course. That's what we're all hoping
Absolutely.
for right now. Yes.
Once again, all they need is a tie to advance. So a win would just be gravy on top. And I think, like I said, a win is important in terms of getting their confidence up because their next game is going to be very important. And you want to go into that elimination stage game with confidence. A nice high-scoring win would provide that.
Definitely.
Of course, yes. And so it looks like Korea has a very high chance of advancing to the next round of 32. So do we have any idea on who we'll be facing when we do advance to the next round?
Funny how you ask. I think it's not set in stone yet. Still, a lot can change, but we have a pretty good idea. So if Korea were to finish second in Group A, which is probably the most likely right now, what would happen is they would play the second place group in Group B, which includes Canada, Switzerland, Qatar, and Bosnia-Herzegovina. So Canada and Switzerland currently top the group with a win and a draw each, and then they play each other 6 hours before Korea's match against South Africa. So even before Korea's game, we will know who they would play if they were to finish second, and it would most likely be the loser of the Canada-Switzerland game. And even if that game were to be a tie, Canada would actually win the group based on goal differential because they're 3 goals ahead of Switzerland in that category. So there's a better chance that Switzerland would be the second place second place team of Group B. And, you know, there is an outside chance that Bosnia-Herzegovina or Qatar could place second, but it is significantly a long shot, so I think we could assume that Canada, but more likely Switzerland, would be the opponent for Korea if they do finish second in Group A.
If, and that's what we are hoping for.
That's it's the most likely scenario as well. Yeah.
Okay, Jason, the World Cup is going to remain in full swing, but let's shift gears to where swings matter literally, to golf. So give us the updates on the PGA first and foremost.
Yeah, the PGA's U.S. Open just wrapped up, the third major of the season, and Tom Kim hasn't won a tournament since 2023, but hey, he finished third at the U.S. Open. He started the final round 6 strokes behind the eventual winner, Wyndham Clark. He was actually tied for second, way behind, but he actually got to within 3 strokes of the winner. And let me tell you, what a story it would have been if he would have been able to pull off the win, because the final round was actually played on Tom Kim's 24th birthday. So a good day for him. Regardless, not a bad birthday present by finishing third, which is also his third top 10 finish at a PGA major. So a good weekend all around for Tom Kim.
Yeah. Great birthday for him. And we want to also talk about the LPGA as well. So how did Koreans do at the latest tournament?
Yeah, the LPGA's event on the weekend was the Meyer LPGA Classic, and actually not a great week for the Koreans. The top Korean finisher was Kang Min-ji, who finished in 5th place. Meanwhile, Lee So-mi was the only other top 10 finisher as she tied for 10th. But hey, of course, next week is the Women's PGA Championship, so hopefully we'll have a good showing there by the Koreans.
All right. Thank you very much, Jason, for those updates. Let's hope that by next time we could talk about the knockout rounds of the World Cup. And yeah, let's have fun during the game in a few days and root for Team Korea.
대한민국.
Yay!
Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you, Bella. As always, we're going to have you back here later this week.
Yes, I'll see you soon.